What is up, beautiful Sagittarius gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup, as I try and shuffle these ginormous cards in my tiny hands. This is going to be a general tarot message here on YouTube for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. You guys are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Because they're general messages, not everything I say will resonate with every Sagittarius every week. So just come in with realistic expectations, an open heart, an open mind. If these messages speak to you, resonate with you, motivate you, inspire you, awesome, take it and run with it. And if not, release, assume it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it. All right, Sag, let's tap into your energy. What can I share with Sagittarius this week? 8 of Wands, movement. All right. Movement and walking away from something that is null and void, I'm hearing. Something that it just doesn't light your fire anymore. 8 of Cups, it's important to remember it always served up to a certain point, but it's a card that really denotes a lot of bravery, of not being able to, or not being afraid to leave or move away from, build upon what has already been established, a foundation, either moving away from it or seeking and desiring more, right? A Jupiter energy, right? Your ruling planet expansion. I'm doing a terrible job shuffling this deck. Here we go. Here we go. Sagittarius's energy. Something with a Cancer, maybe? Working with a Cancer? Business partnership, romantic partnership with a Cancer, maybe? 9 of Swords. But there's anxiety about it. Why is there anxiety? Because there's too many in the mix? The three's a crowd? I don't know. Is there competition for a Cancer or competition for the, I don't know, stress? Or it's just a stressful situation. I don't know. Let's see what comes out. Well, I got to finish that. What's the deal with that? Will it work? This one's popping out. Generosity, 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, you get what you give. Give something to that relationship and you will get something back. All right. These cards are all like mixed. Some of them are upside down. I hate that. But anyway, here we go. Sorry, Sag. Sagittarius. What can I tell Sagittarius this week? Two of Cups. Fuck yeah. Knight of Wands. 5 of Wands. 8 of Swords. Ugh, too many cards. And you have the Tower with your card. So something life-changing, something big, significant shifts. I'm hearing tectonic plates, almost like an earthquake. I think that's a metaphor, guys. Though, what is it? With planet Uranus and Taurus, I hear that that's actually a very common situation to have like earthquake warnings. So, yeah, keep that in mind. I don't do fear-based readings, though, right? So, yeah, have your safety kit prepared if that at all resonates. Anybody maybe out in California, but the Chariot is about forward movement. So interesting. You did have the same card come out, and under it is Knight of Cups. Spirituality and angel of guidance. So some of you may have a very strong spirit guide, maybe a grandmother, a grandfather, an ancestor, anything really, an angel guide who's maybe Cancerian. Does that make sense to anyone who's watching over you? They are blessing this departure away from what was, ushering you into a new chapter, following your truth, listening to your integrity, doing what is right. Karmic justice is what's coming in for you. For some of you, there's a new job, a new contract coming in, and it might be to work with a Cancerian. It may also have to do with something. I'm almost getting like in travel, in transit, if you've been planning a trip and it's been delayed, or more so than just because of, the whole COVID thing, but something about plans to even maybe move, something about that is coming in. There's karmic justice weighing out in your favor. And yeah, for a lot of you, this may be romantic as well. So you seem to have your eye, not your eye. Well, yeah, your eye on something or someone, but you're taking action towards it. You might be dealing with another Sagittarius too, particularly if you have strong Cancer in your chart, Sagittarius. Yeah, staking your claim is what I'm hearing. It's almost like you're harpooning something. You're taking action, and what you're harpooning is this 2 of Cups. I guess I'm attributing this to you, even my females out there, because this is your card, Knight of Wands. It's the mutable fire sign. But know in advance you can reverse the roles. So, yeah, some of you are moving towards love. You feel guided towards a certain person. You feel like it might be a spiritual connection, especially, a male water sign is coming through very strong. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But maybe it hasn't all been easy, whether this is a personal struggle, a family struggle, or a struggle in a relationship. You have tests and restriction. It's really interesting. This message was literally the entire message I gave to Leo was all about this desire for freedom and feeling like long-term connections is almost forcing you to conform, and where are you feeling like it's imposing upon your freedom to thrive and grow and be curious and seek adventure, but also where are you living that part of your life out in an extreme way, and so you're sacrificing long-term commitments, friendships, any type of relationship that really could offer you a lot of support and loyalty. I think it's changing your perspective on what your relationships offer to you. And I'm not by no means trying to make that your message, but I actually see it being very similar, even to the point where that was all of Leo's message, where they're starting to outgrow an older version of themselves where their freedom was of the utmost importance. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but anything in an extreme can be your downfall as well. The message for Leo essentially was that they come to realize that maybe because they were so gung-ho on this area of their life and freedom and seeking and adventure and travel, that they are almost starting to feel lonely and lacking significant long-term connections in their life. And so essentially there was kind of like a roundabout way of being like, well, maybe there's something I'm going to go back to and rejuvenate. I'm going to find that spark or that connection, whether it's romantic or business or whatever. I hate to say it, but yours is astoundingly similar. Because essentially, I think that in some area of your life, there was a friendship or a relationship that came in that really tested your mentality, that what this person wanted from you was to impede or impose upon you, when really you were meant to interact with that person solely for the reason to make you sort of question your life path forward. It's not to say it was right or wrong, just to shed some light and to really just ask yourself why. What is your truth? What is the purpose of this? And again, I want to underscore, I'm not shaming you for having that adventurous side, if this resonates, right? It's certainly, I don't mean to stereotype all Sagittarians, but that tends to be very strong, is that you guys are seekers of the truth, of the freedom. You love to, travel, that kind of ninth house activity. Again, some of you may not resonate with that. But because of possibly overdoing it in one area, the Knight of Wands is sometimes thought of as like the Casanova, if you will, like loving many but not committing to one. In the long term, there's something about that becomes your mental your mental prison. So it's almost the anticipation or the expectation of what you get by not being held down by anything or anyone. What it did was the opposite, is that now you feel stuck, or maybe you feel like you're lacking those other connections that people around you have. And so it's testing your truth. It's testing, in a sense, your identity. What you've built your empire upon, the solid foundation that has been your support system, or however, for so long. A lot of you, and it may be in a smaller degree of this story, but I think you're starting to recognize whatever this situation is for you, what you really desire, what you're really trying to harpoon and focus in on, is partnership. Two of Cups. Could certainly be new partnership. It doesn't have to be old. It could be with another Sagittarius, or again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces is coming up very strongly here. Where did you jump too soon? Where did you dip out and you may feel that you missed out on an opportunity, or I don't even know if that's you feel like you missed out on an opportunity. To some degree, that may be true for some of you. Others of you're going through this major transformation. That's really what this Tower represents. It's Mars energy, and because we are in Aries season, a zodiac sign ruled by planet Mars, Mars represents action, activity, passion. I would even say creativity, spirituality, sexuality. A lot of sort of aggressive male energy, and that doesn't have to be bad. Assertive, let's say assertive, not necessarily aggressive, though it can be. It can be very conflictive. It can be very egocentric and defensive, right? I think even that to me is symbolic. There was something that you were defending it as your utmost core principle of being, and the thing is, you're starting to second guess that, not in a bad way. Again, up until now, everything has served you. But again, same with the Leo reading. They're so similar this week. It's unbelievable. There's just something about you're starting to understand, maybe you've outgrown that side of your personality. Maybe you are seeking something now that you weren't seeking when you were younger, or 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 days ago, right? This is really beautiful to me because it shows that you're very capable of transforming. You're very capable of adapting to new people and new situations. And of course you are. You're a mutable sign, right? Mutable signs are very adaptable. They like change. They like action. They don't like the mundane, same old, same old, same old. And again, living that in an extreme way, it seems like you were doing the leapfrog thing from job, to person, to house, to country, whatever it is, right? To friend. But do those all add up to make something great? I would say, depending on how you look at it, sure. You've lived a very diverse life. You have a lot of experience under your belt. You've, you're well traveled, in a sense. But again, there's something about, there's no bedrock of consistency. There's no platform on which you can continue to grow in one of those areas. And so I sense that there's a huge recognition of you're diving into what you thought was something you never wanted or something you didn't believe in. That's a key word for Sagittarius, your beliefs, your principles, your ethics. I just love it, the idea that you're flexible, you're changeable, you are committing to new ideas, and you're not afraid to essentially let go of the old, like the ego that you've built up. And again, that's not a negative, that's not a slight, it's just your principle, your identity, your core values and beliefs, they're starting to change. And yeah, good. As you mature and grow through life, if everything stays stagnant, then you're not living up to your truth as an immutable fire sign. So yeah, that's really what this is about. You, Sagittarius, are undergoing major transformation. It took me a long time to get there. How deep am I? 11 minutes. All right, so let's talk about this Two of Cups. There's an offer being made. It's very innocent. It's very cute. It could even be an apology. And with a page, it might not be brand new. It's something you've been thinking about for a while, or vice versa. This person has been thinking about reaching out to you for a while. It's possible that at one point in time, someone was already committed, or there just wasn't room in this relationship for you, especially in like a business dynamic. But yeah, there's a turning of the tide, I'm hearing. Yeah, there's wish fulfillment tide here. This might be with an Aquarius as well. Aquarius is showing up in your readings hardcore recently, Sagittarius. So be on the lookout. If you're looking for partnership of any kind, it seems like something about you and Aquarius's energy, they're very much in alignment. Fuck yeah, they are. That's wish fulfillment. That is the Cinderella story, right? That's the fairy tale ending. And I mean, as always, keep in mind, this energy lasts us for a while, and then inevitably there's always change. The only constant in life is change. But yeah, you may be going back to something or someone, or again, a partnership that you're choosing to view through a more traditional lens of, I actually want longevity here. That's very important with the Ten of Cups. Similar to the Ten of Pentacles, any 10 in tarot, it's a long time. It's been a long time building up. It's been a long time coming. So you may realize that someone that you had a romantic connection with in the past, I don't know, over time you may come to realize, what? At the time, I thought I could do better, or I was curious. I needed to feed that curiosity, that desire to make sure there wasn't anything else out there. But yeah, I think in time you realize this person's kind of my dream. This person's kind of my wish. Or again, vice versa, Sag. If you're dealing with someone who maybe you went through a breakup or a rejection, especially an Aquarius or a Cancer, they may be coming back to be like, hey, so remember me? Because I want to marry you and have your babies. Right? Cool. I like that. So then I should have kept the Ten of Cups out. I just love looking at it. It's so happy. What is this struggle about? This is about embracing a new chapter. That's all it is. This doesn't have to be scary. It's areas of your life where you were really restricting yourself, because the Eight of Swords is the mental prison, but you've put yourself there. Some of you are fearing that this person won't take you back, or some of you are fearing that chapter of your life is over and you couldn't return to it. Yeah, it's your fear creeping up. And also this, I'm going to say it, Sag, bear with me, because this is a bit of a tough love message. You don't know everything. I know, isn't that wild? Because we thought you did. No, and all zodiac signs, I would say that too. But especially, some of my fire signs sometimes can be very headstrong. This inflexibility of again, the higher mind, because even though you are a fire sign, you do kind of have that connection to sort of, Gemini and that thought, ideas, that sort of thing. Knowledge. This is opening up your mind to see that maybe you didn't have it all right. Maybe you didn't know the answers. Maybe your endpoint, your destiny wasn't exactly where you thought it was. And that's not something to be disappointed by. It's just the story gets even better, but it's being comfortable with the unknown. That maybe you don't have all the answers, and maybe that's where the curiosity therein lies. And you know, I do associate Sagittarius with being very curious, with being very open-minded too. So that's where I get that message may have gone down kind of bitter for some of you, and I'd never mean to offend, but you know, there's different, you know, makeup of my Sagittarians out there. So yeah, admitting that you don't know everything and being open to that possibility, that wonderment that lies ahead, that's how you're going to get out of this restriction. Being open to other people's ideas. I would say being a good listener is coming up here too. Because this is a test. This is like a karmic test for you on your path. Yeah, you're graduating. Yeah, quite literally with this newfound knowledge, with this new empowerment. Such an important message here is about overcoming obstacles with Saturn, the planet Saturn coming up here. It's like you've pushed your way through. You've rebirthed yourself into this world as a new person, a stronger person, someone who knows themselves, right? You've had to go to the lowest of lows in order to come out on top, and she's naked, right? So that indicates there's an ability to be vulnerable. Again, to admit, almost through some humbling lessons that, you know, maybe I wasn't right about everything. And is my ego flexible enough to admit that that's okay? You know, that I don't need to shame myself or feel embarrassed for saying something and then going back on it or whatever. Again, flexibility, adaptability, changeability is huge, because you know what? It's going to usher in partnership into your life in whatever form you're searching for partnership, even friendship. There could be a connection with an old friend from your past, and maybe there was a little bit of awkwardness there. Maybe someone felt a sense of abandonment or rejection or whatever it was. You're quite literally the Knight of Wands here is harpooning friendship or compatibility with someone. I think there's healing in order. I have to be honest, I don't have Six of Cups or judgment, but something about this is there's an awakening of something from the past that needs to be revisited. And I think that's why the Page of Cups is coming through. So maybe there's an apology in order. Maybe someone is coming back to you, Sag. They're definitely thinking about it, but they're letting fear hold them back. When they may be looking you up online, Sagittarius, or wondering what you're doing, being curious, inquisitive on where you're at. I think this person is letting fear stand in the way that you're done with them. It's like I'm literally getting like you've been tossed out the window or something like that. You think, I don't know, you don't stand a chance with this person, or some of you may feel what transpired was irreconcilable. That's not the right. I'm not saying that correctly, but unfixable. No, wisdom is saying bring light to it. You know, the hermit shines his lantern on whatever needs to be seen, and it's that communication, it's that spark, it's that energy, it's that passion, right? Reciprocity. Yeah. There's good cards under that. I'm going to use this new deck. I just feel called to do it. You had to move away from this part. Isn't that interesting? The devil came out. So possibly something with a Capricorn. Or fear. Fear may have bled into this relationship on both ends, right? Possibly for you and your person. But the cards surrounding it are all about healing. And bringing nourishment to it. So this is fixable. And when this comes up in like a romantic reading, I always think you guys are both thinking about it. So who isn't taking that step? Who isn't taking that action? I mean, someone's going to. You literally have the action card here. Racing in like a cheetah, like a cat. Corn dogs. Classic corn dogs. I don't know why that's coming through, but there's a sense of humor about this. Maybe that's something you valued in the relationship, with someone's sense of humor. And sex. I feel like there was a sexual connection there too. Money's coming. Yeah, there may have been a date that was very sentimental, something you both look back on, and I want to say giggle about. There's like an inside joke with you guys. That may be the icebreaker of a conversation, especially if you haven't spoken in a long time. A very specific, I know this is so random, but like a very specific food or like a novelty item that you like ate at a fair or something. There was a very specific discussion about food or something that you guys wanted to try or you looked up, or something over food. And yes, I know that's common. Like, oh, of course everybody goes out to dinner, but there was some conversation you guys had that's going to be a confirmation for some of you. Cha-ching. that to me is like confirmation. That may be somebody's window in to break the ice because they're breaking it with humor. But the thing is, what's coming up underneath that, it feels more deep. It feels more profound. A long journey. So there may be physical distance between you guys too. There may be communication over the internet, the world wide webs, as they say, or, you know, via text. There could be quite a distance in there, or just an emotional distance with the Page of Cups. That's why I feel like these are representing the two people in this spread, and you both are kind of in the middle thinking about it. Thinking about also the wounds that this scenario or this breakup caused, or thinking about it's almost like having to open up wounds to address what transpired in the past. And I think that's where there's a lot of hesitancy. But I don't know. I'm a big proponent of, you know, the light will always win over the dark. It's just a matter of time. So it's about facing the shadow side. And maybe that has to happen individually first. And I would say that's exactly what you're doing. Unless this is your person, of course. But I mean, it is the Sagittarius reading. So maybe it's for the cross watchers out there too. But yeah, money is coming too. So if none of this is romantic, this could have to do with a job. And you guys get this message literally all the time. I never aim to repeat messages, but going back to some sort of hobby or skill or passion of the past, for some reason it may have fallen by the wayside or fallen out of your life. Or again, there was an inability to stick it out or commit to it long term. And so maybe you just accepted, okay, that chapter of my life is done. I almost see you knocking on the door of the past. Wanting to go back to something because it brings you joy. That's why, because it feels like your life is lacking without that. And life is what you make it, right? For, you know, not saying that the key to your happiness rests within another person. But, you know, certainly in a skill or a passion or a hobby that you enjoy, why wouldn't you want to pursue that? You know, why wouldn't you want to go back to that? The only reason I can see here is maybe not wanting to admit fault or ego, or I don't know, something of the sort. You're stuck in your head about it. All right, so then let's talk about Temperance. That's you. Again, a card of healing, patience, balance. This to me says you've already gone through a major period of rest and rejuvenation, and so inevitably the next step is to take a leap of faith. To get out of the comfort zone, the burning building, the tower, right? It's like this idea that in metaphor, to me, this is like always leapfrogging one to the next. And so it's almost like whenever you leave, you set something on fire to never return to it. And I almost see this as you putting out the fire by pouring love, by pouring water all over it. Any firefighters out there? It is. It's returning back to something where you think it was destroyed. You think your destruction ended it, or vice versa. Something about this it could never be. I think just the opposite. I think you're going to come back and heal it, and I think you're going to build a better foundation than you had before. You're going to repair it. You're going to fix it. This could literally be an item sitting in your garage that, again, probably has significant value to you in terms of an old chapter of your life. Going into the basement, into the garage, and fixing, like, I don't know, your bicycle, your tuba, whatever it is. There's something about returning to something you thought it was destroyed. It's not. You're going to reinvigorate it. You're going to bring that light, that passion back to it. And there may be news of pregnancy later, so I don't know what that has to do with it. Oh, okay, so interesting. There may have been this is very specific, I know it's not for all of you. There may have been the ending of a relationship when there was news of pregnancy because one or both people weren't ready at the time, and so there may be some sort of sentimental totem that reminds you of that, and understandably it brings up a well of emotions. It's not always the most comfortable thing to face, but something about that, you may actually revisit it. Because maybe you recognize that, that there was a calling for that partnership, for that connection, but at the time it served its purpose, but it didn't come together at the exact timeline because you guys, almost like a ricochet, you were meant to come together, learn something, and go your separate ways. I would offer that it comes back around again if you want it to, if it's something you guys are both desiring. Yeah, something about twins. So maybe it's with a Gemini too. I'm hearing Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. Is that significant to anyone out there? Loves horses and her boyfriend too. I don't know. Free Fallin'. Maybe you should, or maybe that's a confirmation. You guys are going to hear that on the radio. Also makes me think of Jerry Maguire. Doesn't he sing that in his car? The Tom Cruise movie, Free Fallin'? I think that's right. Anyway, doesn't matter. One more card on this. Anything else I need to know about? You may be repairing something with a Sagittarius, with a family member. You may be repairing a relationship that stems back to your childhood. it's funny, this card came out in Cancer's reading as well, and I think Gemini. So maybe someone cuspy. Yeah, you may be fixing a parent-child dynamic, whether you are the parent or child, Sagittarius. You may be going back to build a foundation that can last. Again, longevity with that 10 of Cups. Repairing relationships and keeping them. Keeping your loyal tribe close to you. Because as amazing as it is to have that freedom, it gets lonely, doesn't it? For some of you, anyway. There's just a huge sense of maturity. Changing. Adaptability. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, the Star. Yeah, you're bringing healing to something. Chameleon. Chameleon's important here too. Something about changing your, not identity, changing your appearance, that's significant to some of you too. You may have gone through like this spiritual awakening where you decided to alter both your internal as well as your external look. Yeah, there's something different about you, or vice versa. This person you're thinking of connecting with, they physically have changed a little bit. But again, that's great. The mutability, adaptability, I really like that. Changing to suit the environment, or changing to suit your age, this new chapter that you're in. There's also something very like, I'm hearing the word wisdom and psychic. I think there's like a spiritual, like psychic connection maybe with this person. Traveling to see them, some sort of, I don't know, traveling to go and see them, I don't know if it's like a road trip or whatever. I also think this is sort of like, not to be cheesy, but like star-crossed lovers. That's sort of what's coming into my mind here too. All right, Sag, I think that's what I got for you this week. I want to keep reading, but there's something about pregnancy here. Anyway, I always overdo it on your readings because I get too chatty, but these messages seem strong. I think there's a, oh wait, I gotta do one more thing. Here I go. I just got this deck and I love using it. If this is, I'm going to wrap it up here, but if this is a person of the past, what would these two people say to each other? Starfish. That reminds me of Charlie's Angels. Tom Green calls her Starfish. That may be someone's name. Charlie. Is there a Charlie? Or Angel? Angela? I don't know. Sagittarius. I'm gonna pop out. I don't react when people mention you. I left when I saw you with someone. I don't react when people mention you, but they think about you though. But it's a secret. Is someone already in a committed partnership? I wonder how committed it is. I know I was a distraction from your pain. That came up in a Gemini reading recently as well. We will be together again. We both know I am not the one for you. Well, those are rather contradictory, aren't they? Maybe it's in another lifetime. I don't know. Sag. That's what I got for you. I like these cards. I think they're interesting. So maybe some of these will be confirmation for some of you out there. Let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys very soon for more tarot. Next Tuesday for more tarot. Remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you then. Bye, Sag.